here is our samples. These here are the real colors. We've got all these custom and stock colors that we've mixed, and we've got recipes for all the custom ones. And we've converted these to actual paints. So we have like recipe or color number. And you're going to get a set of the actual paint. So there may be colors in the sample. There may be colors on here that didn't end up in a sample just because you can't always fit them all in for particular artistic purposes on a small area. So we can kind of critique just color, like which ones are really dominant. Maybe there's one when you get it to the space, you're like, oh my gosh, that one should be a dominant color. So that's what we'll have these for, just so we can talk color only. Now we got 3 sets of samples here. The first one was done and not shipped. It's the first run, and they're more opalescent. That's just where we kind of just, started. So these are going to have more flash, and they're going to be a bit more monochrome, because that's just the way we were, going about representing the piece. So that's the lightest one. You can kind of look on your proposal and get an idea where some of these might be represented, just kind of by getting a good look at them. Now, when I put the accent colors on these, I did go back to the first kit of samples, and I did bump them up a bit with more accent colors. And these are just more, I went with more metallics just so we'd have, something that's different than the rest. Like you can just tell how kind of shale and kind of opalescent this is. So this is one way we could go about the piece. That would be set 1. Now set 2 has a white base, meaning the resin that it's cast with is white. So this little highlight here, these, when you they feel fresher. They look a lot like cast paper. That's a good example of, if you looked at it, you'd say that's a cast paper piece. You wouldn't think it's resin, it just doesn't have that vibe. But we'll get a close-up on these. So they just have kind of a softer, lighter, kind of fluffy type feel to them just because of that white casting base that was used. Now with the white casting base, you'll see like this negative coming through here. That's where there maybe wasn't paint, and it'll just pop through white. So that's one attitude that these have, is the negative areas. Like there's a good example. This little area right there will come through white. The next set aren't going to have that. So these are just going to look more light and kind of fresh than the next set. Like you can see more of this kind of white highlighting just kind of popping through the paint. Did we get a close-up of that last one? I don't think so. Let's re-video this one. Going backwards. All right, so this is the last set. This one has a light umber casting base. So where there was white popping through, this time we have umber popping through in the negative space. So this one's going to just have a little more gravity. It still, feels very light, but it's just got a little more depth to it. And I did push the accent colors a little more tight on this one, so it's going to have a little more structure. Structure would be like blue, silver, brown. It's just less kind of raku-ish and more graphic. So you'll get a little more geometry if you push the detail color. So that will be like if you're thinking, why does one seem a little more shimmery than the next? It's because one has been tightened up more than the next. So this would be tightened up. Now some of these I've got gold, some I've got bronze, silver. Figuring out which metallics you do or don't like. This one even has a little tiny bit of metallic blue in here. So kind of pay attention to that and have a conversation about what works for the space, because I just kind of tried a little bit of everything, because you never know. Like this one has bronze negative space. Ooh, come on. And it has a little bit of this kind of coppery bronze. This one, I think, even has a little bit of that metallic blue. Now this is this really intense blue that's in the proposal. That's this color here. Usually you need one color that does not belong on, just to add a little kinetic energy to the piece. So that would be what we call our in kind of kinetic color. That's going to give it a little bit of energy. So that's the samples.